And there's an eyeball, ugly big thing. That's the optic nerve stump at the back. But yeah, not a good, totally take.
Morning viewers, so today we're going to take a sheep's eye out. We've got a sheep that's got, it's either a cancer eye or a pink eye gone bad. So we've called out the vet and we're going to take the eye out. So that's something a bit different. So we've got Sarah and Danny today doing the vet work.
Good morning. Afternoon.
Afternoon, yes, it's actually lunchtime now, isn't it? Or thereabouts. So it's a fairly simple operation, Sarah?
Yeah, look, it is.
Yeah.
The main thing is just keeping the animal still and getting appropriate local anaesthetic around it.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's bloody, but it's just superficial blood. It's not really major vessels.
Yeah.
And then stitching it up, trying to keep it as clean as possible.
As clean as possible, yeah. So first you have to sedate it.
Yes.
Yeah.
With enough, so we'll go into the vein with an injection that hopefully will be slightly heavy sedation, probably.
Heavy sedation, yeah. So it's not a full anaesthetisation, but it's the local around the eye that does the job. Yeah, okay.
And the cattle, they're still standing in a race and got nose grips on, and we just put local anaesthetic in it while they're there. But the sheep we can manhandle.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's go.
Let's do it.
So she's been sedated.
Just checking it out, making sure that it's not attached to the socket around, because otherwise it makes the removal a bit of a waste of time. But you can feel the bone. You have a feel it's all quite separate. It's definitely just the globe of the eye.
Yeah.
And even happily blocking. Oh, yeah. So I'd block eyelids. Just going along under the eyelid.
Yep.
So we've just numbed the eyelids.
Yep.
We still need to do some more blocks further down, but we're just going to get a scrub up first so that we've got a bit of a cleaner surface.
So we're doing it out here in the yard because much better light than in the shed. What is that, iodine, is it?
Bit of iodine scrub, so a bit of a soapy one to try and lift some of the exudate off.
Yep.
Really stuck on there.
Yeah, hopefully you can get once we've got that, sort of an inch or so around, that's as good as we'll get.
The local anaesthetic, what's that called?
It's called lignocaine.
Oh, lignocaine, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so a pretty common one used in people as well.
Sorry?
Pretty common one used in people and everything as well.
Yeah. I think, is it lignocaine that's in numbnuts?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Inside the outer orbit. So we're now doing our deeper injections. That's trying to numb it a little bit further as we go in. Sometimes, depending on the type of injury of the eye, it's a bit awkward and you can end up, I'll go back to that one a bit more, just, rupturing the globe because it's awkward where you're going.
Yeah.
But you at least try and diffuse a bit around the back. Don't need a huge amount, and it's never completely perfect. Swap if you need. Yeah, I think we might actually. We're just going to swap positions. I'm going to be the surgeon, just so you can see that down with the sedation. She's not totally out of it.
Yeah.
But you can still even see with the effort of breathing that she has with that, the sheep just don't do very well. Same as when people are sedating for the rams for shearing. There's a fine line between manageable and they just choose not to get back up again, which isn't very good.
No.
So we'd rather have them light and a little bit of holding. And I'm going to cut the eyelids first. It's slightly variable, but what I choose to do, because this globe is so big, we're cutting the margin off because we'll be suturing these eyelids together. And then I'm going to be following down with scissors, cutting down through the conjunctiva, down deeper. Now, bit of blood, so your viewers evidently don't mind a little bit of gore.
I don't know.
Or you might have to edit some of it.
Yeah.
Some viewers are probably okay with it, but anyway, I mean, it's no different to surgery on a human being, really.
No, they show a lot of that now too, don't they? The YouTubey things. So we've got a bit of quite dark blood, and that's where she's had that little bit of a ooze when we've injected the local, and it's already sort of just gone dark like old blood.
Yeah, right.
She's even sort of reacted where we've yeah, sort of bled. You can see it was pushing back into the syringe, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
There's quite a bit of pressure in there. As for actual guidelines, Denny, you just follow. You know, it's loose, it all rolls against you, and you just go following around the globe. There's no specific right or wrong spot. Sometimes I go all the way around, sometimes I concentrate if they're on one side and it actually comes out, and then you tidy up the other side. You can get that feel.
You're a better man than I am, Sarah, doing that. Give you the tip.
That's it is. What you get used to, isn't it? Now, at the back of the eye, of course, is the optic nerve.
Yep.
Which is joining. Doesn't matter, no amount of local makes that numb. So we always get a bit of a response when that's cut. It is quite a thick nerve. And there's always a little vessel there, but we tend to find pressure alone is enough to make it stop. Right. We don't have to tie anything off. Dig all your fingers in there and just go in and have a feel, I think, while we're, you know, you're not at a great angle, but you feel the nerve there, and happily that it's separate, it hasn't continued on down the optic nerve, and that's, basically the local's obviously working well, and she's in her level sedation, and she's still breathing up all right. Which is what she sort of noticed more than anything. So they're often, especially in the cattle, there's a vein quite close to that medial aspect that sometimes you get, and they start bleeding out their nose. Again, it's not a big concern, it's just probably more annoying. I'll just sit that there for a moment while I'm happy that we've got all our bits. And there's our eyeball, ugly big thing. That's the optic nerve stump at the back. But yeah, not a good, totally taken over.
What do you think? Do you think it was a cancer or?
I do, rather than a pink eye, it was a cancer. So whether it started off as one like that and then just for whatever reason turned itself into a cancer, or even like a granulomatous, doesn't have to actually be a cancer, but just an over response of body and just building on itself. Definitely. So quite a bit of bleeding does happen. The big thing is just getting this closed as quickly as possible, because you can never find, it's not one set vessel, it's sort of more of an ooze. Even in the dogs and cats, when we do them, we don't tie off any vessels in there. It's a bit bloody, but the idea is just to get it closed up as quickly as possible. And that forms its own little pressure. And we have an eye that looks bigger than what we took out to begin with. And you wonder what happened, and then it'll settle down, shrink, reabsorb.
And these stitches don't need removing, they'll just dissolve eventually. Well,
they actually are ones that, in the ideal world, do need, I'll just give you that.
Removing, do they? Yeah, right.
Removing.
Yeah.
It tastes a bit bad, mate. I'm sorry, I've run out of swabs. But you don't really need to worry too much if, when she's in if it's 3 months' time, you think about it, you can do it. The only reason is I find, my preference is with the absorbables, the dissolving sutures. Sometimes if we get several days, of rain, the reason they break down is they're moist inside the body. Certainly it takes a few weeks, but I just have a few more that might break down, pardon me, earlier with the sun on them. And they're really spiky. It's funny, whereas I find this is less irritating. I can get better positioning, I guess. It might be just because I'm old school.
Thanks very much, ladies.
That's fine.
That was great. Really appreciate it. At any rate, I hope everyone enjoyed the video.
Interesting for the viewers and the first time for me to be on camera. So very good.
Great stuff. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay.
There you go.